Hey everybody, welcome to Third Coast Gaming Radio, episode 3. Today is October 12th. It's Monday. What's up, Austin? How's your weekend?
Oh, it's been good, Travis.
You, what'd you do? What were you up to, dog?
Oh, had a friend had a birthday party, which consisted of a socially distant reading of Socrates' Apology.
Huh. How'd that come about?
You
I'm very
know,
intrigued.
she just kind of, I wasn't included in the planning. She just decided we would do a reading and landed on Socrates
Interesting. I also
at
had a
some
birthday
point.
party this weekend.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
You have fun?
Yeah, big 28 this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we had it yesterday, so I took off 2 extra days of work. That's lots of October birthdays. It seems like. I played the I played this tabletop game with my family called the Imposter of Haunted Hill, I think.
Betrayal on House of Haunted Hill or
Yes.
something.
Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Yeah, Betrayal at the House of the. Yeah, that's. I've played that once before. We didn't make it.
What was y'all's haunt?
I forget the specific haunt, but like I think we all became mini. Like we all became very small, and then there was like a cat that like absolutely killed us as we were trying to fly away in a toy airplane.
Interesting. So for anyone who hasn't played it, Betrayal at wow, my memory does not work. Betrayal at yeah.
Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Starts out and everyone picks a character and they're all kind of horror movie archetypes, and you start in the entrance of a haunted house and you have a bunch of tiles that you'll flip over as you're exploring rooms in the house and your characters go throughout. But what makes the game interesting is that as you are exploring the house, you're getting omens, which are like spooky things that are happening, like maybe the wind will blow by your ear and you'll hear something creepy, or someone will find a dog that's mangy but will follow you around as a companion. So you have a meter that starts going up. It starts at 0 omens, and then you roll 6 dice. And when you activate the haunt by having the dice be less than the amount of omens, a haunt will occur. And there's like 60 different haunts. So there's 60 different scenarios that'll go through. We got aliens. So one of our characters was on the 3rd floor, and an alien spacecraft abducted my mother, and then an alien came out, and the alien was trying to mind control the other 2 of us, and we had to get to the ship, and we had to break the ship pretty much. And for us to win, we had to break the ship. And for the alien to win, the alien had to abduct the other 2 people. So that was fun. And then we ate sushi. We got H-E-B sushi, and they had vegan sushi, and it was all right. Let me tell you, Austin, there's a Scooby-Doo version of this game called Betrayal at Mystery Mansion. You like brand deals, Austin?
Sometimes.
Yeah. You can get a Scooby-Doo card and a Shaggy Rogers card. Mystery Machine. Man, that I don't know, it's $30. I'm kind of into Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooby's all right.
Yeah, Scooby's all right. That new movie's not too great.
I haven't seen it. I wouldn't know.
It's called Scoob, and it has like weird superhero stuff in it. It just doesn't work. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. I do know about something I do want to get into, which is Austin's been playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, we want to start with the big boy.
Dog, get on it. What's up with Baldur's Gate 3? All right, give me a little background on Baldur's Gate, and then we'll get into why 3 is interesting.
So Baldur's Gate as a series, believe the first one, the first Baldur's Gate was one of the first like big CRPGs, and that was released in, I believe it was '98. I think the first one was developed by Black Isle, which is a studio that no longer exists. That would later become the veterans of Black Isle would eventually form Obsidian. But like it really hit popularity with Baldur's Gate 2, which within like my understanding is, because I haven't played a lot of Baldur's Gate 2, I've only ever done like the prologue, then got like immediately outside of it. My understanding is that like Baldur's Gate 2 is a much less railroaded RPG when compared to the first one, and like it was dynamic enough at the time where people thought it was like really impressive. And like I would say even like from the prologue, there is like some like dynamic story that happens in that section that is pretty interesting, even with like the writing at the time being not super great. So then like 2 years ago, there's an announcement video from the folks at Larian Studios, who are the developers behind the Divinity series of games, most notably the recent Divinity Original Sin 2, which very well regarded. I think it's okay.
I haven't played it, but I keep looking at Divinity. Like I've watched a bunch of gameplay stuff, and like I like what it's doing.
Yeah, like it always looked good, like Divinity. I think like if you're watching it, it always looks good. My only problem is like as someone like once I got to around to playing it in co-op with a friend, I just realized that I didn't particularly enjoy its rule set when it came to anything really, as far as building a character and combat. I wasn't enjoying it the way I thought I would, because it more so than say like D&D, for example, really just wants you to make a bunch of like min-maxed characters. And really, you should only be playing as mages in Divinity Original Sin 2, because that's
They're
how you make,
OP.
yeah, like they're OP. That's how you make the dynamic effects happen on the map,
Huh.
that will like significantly that will just make combat a lot easier, and like how you play around with the environment in the way that Larian likes to um, talk about. So like a few years ago, they announced that they were working with Wizards of the Coast to make a sequel to Baldur's Gate,
Yeah, and for
Baldur's Gate 3.
context, Divinity Original Sin came out in 2017 by Larian, and Baldur's Gate 3 is an October 6th release, 2020. And they partners with Wizards of the Coast, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Go for it. Tell
Yeah.
me a story.
Yeah, so they partnered with the Coast as a video where they abducted Mike Merles by putting him in like a genie bottle, which I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you could just fucking leave Mike Merles in a genie bottle. He did some stuff. I don't want to get into it right now. We can get into it like in the later. But yeah, so now on October 6th, they released it in early access, after like showing various gameplay demos of the first chapter, and you basically have access to the first, I'll say, probably like 20 hours of the game.
Oh, cool. So it is early access, right?
Yeah, it's very early access.
Okay.
Like there are several instances where you will trigger a thing and you will just get like a text that says cinematic pending. And the next thing you know, you'll be in a combat encounter with like 6 skeletons.
Oh, do the skeletons dance?
No, I don't. At least I don't have the spell to make them dance, if that's in there.
Missed an opportunity there. All right. Is it
Yeah.
fun? Are you having fun?
Yeah. Like so, like in total, like I think it's a really interesting idea. Like ideas going on here, because like this is a really, I would say, this is a very good interpretation of D&D 5e.
Okay.
Like digitization, I guess would be another thing you could say.
Is that a
Um,
thing that the Baldur's Gate games usually do? Is that they're
yeah,
based on D&D? Because
yeah.
I
So
don't know anything
okay, so
about.
I didn't want to, I don't want to get too deep into like the capital L lore of
Uh-huh.
Baldur's Gate and Forgotten Realms. But yeah, the Baldur's Gate is from the Forgotten Realms, which is a setting in D&D. One of the like worlds that like the that D&D has. So, like you have uh, you have the Forgotten Realms, other worlds like Eberron, that sort of thing. All the Magic the Gathering stuff because Wizards of the Coast owns Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
Um,
I don't know how I feel about that being in the D&D world.
No, I mean, it's just stuff you can play around with. They don't have much as far as like Magic the Gathering stuff outside of Ravnica, from what I'm
Oh,
looking at.
okay, yeah. So
Uh,
they're just settings you can do
like
quests
yeah,
in.
looking at like what I own as far
Hmm.
as D&D goes, at the 13 books behind me,
Oh
uh,
gosh.
I own too many, but they're
Oh,
just a really easy thing to put on like a wish list and be like, these are stuff that you can buy me for the holidays. Don't think too hard about it.
yeah. Let me tell you about the
Uh,
9 Warhammer books I have. It's all right.
yeah,
Warhammer 40K and the grimdark future of people not liking other aliens. It's
yeah.
all right.
So
Every
yeah, Baldur's Gate is set in a D&D world, and it's an IP that they own and they'd like to expand on. And Larian is like an interesting enough developer to where I think it was a very good decision to have them
Yeah.
go for that.
And so being based on 5th edition D&D, it's like very at home for people who play a lot of D&D already is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, yeah. So as far as like I am currently in this current moment, I am involved in like 3 D&D campaigns amongst like my group of friends, and like I would say it's a very easy and familiar rule set to like Baldur's Gate 3 feels very familiar.
Hmm.
And it feels a lot more welcoming to me as someone who likes D&D's rule set enough, uh, more so than like Divinity Original Sin was for
Hmm.
me. As someone who like had never like hadn't played that much of Divinity beforehand and wasn't so uh didn't understand a lot of like how you need to be doing stuff in combat
Okay.
beforehand.
So from what I know from the trailers is that there's the beginning of the game kind of opens up and there's some mind flayers which are like they're kind of squid headed monsters who use psychic abilities. Is that a good way to describe them?
Yeah, more or less. So mind flayers are like a multiplanar scourge across D&D, who live in the Underdark, which is the like underground of the world, and often and like seek like have like a hive intelligence sort of thing or a collective conscience,
Hmm.
and sort of like seek to continuously expand themselves.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So tell me about what kind of character you made and what the story of the game is so far. I want to hear about the stuff you've seen.
yeah, so like the story of the game is you and your party are a group of people who were abducted by mind flayers. These include like a warrior, like a multiplanar warrior, half elf cleric, some really vain mage, and
A high
a
elf?
vampire. No, a half elf
Half elf.
cleric, some mage human, and a an elven vampire
Hmm.
who's doing a really bad job of telling of hiding the fact he's a vampire.
Oh no.
Um, and so at this point, early access, the thing is you will later be able to like just play as these characters that I've listed, because like something that Larian did with like Divinity Original Sin 2 is you have origins characters, who are like pre-made characters with like a backstory that you'll explore as you play the game, and have like are fully voiced in most regards. But you'll be able to play as them later. You can't access them yet, so you can only play as a custom character. And I decided, pretty much as soon as I opened it, I decided I was going to cross off like I was not going to make a human, I was not going to make an elf, and I wasn't going to make a dwarf.
Hmm.
I was not going to go with like one of the 3 classics. So that really left me with a halfling, Githyanki, and a drow. Halfling being a Githyanki is the multiplanar like warrior species is how it's described within the game. They are like live on the astral plane, and within like this context, their immediate concern is like hunting down and killing the mind flayers aboard the ship that you were abducted on.
They kind of look like an orc, I would say, like a skinnier orc.
Yeah, they're like
greenish skin warrior people.
Yeah, they're like a kind of like a weird like fusion of like they're like a fusion of like an orc and like the traditional elf, right? Like the ears are a bit more pronounced than the elf. The noses are like pushed up and much smaller.
Yeah, and they kind of have the faces of the orcs from like the Lord of the Rings movies too. So that's a way I would describe them.
And they're like a lot like brighter colored, like pretty light green, and they have like some scaling.
Okay, and then the other two races you could have chose were
like halflings, so like hobbits, and then there's the drow, which is like the dark elves basically.
Okay.
So I went with the drow. I made a drow fighter. Because I like watched some preview material beforehand, and I knew at some point within like the first area you were going to encounter like a goblin camp.
Ooh.
And my understanding of goblins is that drow is like the race of people they've always been the least hostile to.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, you can you're real chummy with the goblins.
Nice.
If you're a drow. So like if you go once you arrive at this goblin camp, if you're like any other race, you'll have to like talk them into letting you just wander about. But if they see you're a drow, they're just like, oh hey, what's up?
What up, fam? How's it going?
Yeah, here's access to every room in our camp.
I think goblins are always fun in like these type of RPGs. I like the voice acting usually for goblins. They're always pretty comedic.
Yeah. The goblins are fun. So like within like this area, like the goblins aren't being treated as just like cannon fodder for you to farm on, which is nice. Like you immediately go into their camp and like it turns out there's a whole thing happening with like some air quote new god who is like assembling a force of drow and goblins and gnolls, which are like hyena people.
Is it Sauron?
You know,
and is he trying to conquer Middle Earth? That's all I'm gonna say.
It's probably not too far from it. They only refer to this individual as the Absolute.
Okay.
And like their symbol is like a bloody hand with a face, and so like I'm just thinking like it's like some Ball nonsense. Ball being an antagonist.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask. So the mind flares kind of wipe your memory, don't they?
So what the mind flayers are doing is you immediately undergo the first stages of a process to turn you into a mind flayer, where they take a tadpole and they put the little feller into your eye.
Oh.
Feller, yeah, it just eats its way through your eye. It doesn't like damage your eye or anything, but like just goes inside your head and is slowly turning you into a mind flayer from the inside out.
Okay.
But this process should only take like 2 days. And by the second day, you should notice signs that you're being turned into a mind flayer. It's a bit odd in your case because you're not being turned into a mind flayer. In fact, Tadpole has given you a select amount of powers to persuade people. So within this current build, once a day, after a long rest, you can use the Tadpole to turn a type of persuasion check into a automatic success. So like the die roll, instead of having to hit like a 10 or a 15, you only have to hit a 1. So you're guaranteed to succeed.
Okay. So you're imprisoned by the mind flayers, right? And then you're freed from a nautiloid flying ship?
Yeah, it's a name. It's a nautiloid ship, which is like where they're like gathering people. Like the opening cinematic starts out and they're just like plucking people off and grabbing them up into these pods. It looks like they're in like they're abducting people from Baldur's Gate, actually. And like as they're doing it, like a squad of Githyanki dragon riders come up and start just destroying the ship, and it has to flee through multiple portals, and eventually, like at the end of the prologue, you like bring the ship to its final resting place somewhere right off of like the Risen Road, and it crashes, and you are then freed.
And then what did you do after that? Where did
Uh,
you go?
Immediately after that, you will find like one of the companion characters, who is the half elf cleric named Shadowheart. Uh, she is a worshiper of Shar, who is within D&D context is like the god of like pain and mourning, like emotional pain, not physical pain. There's a different god for that. Um, and she's like very standoffish, but like once you both realize that you've been infected by the tadpoles, you decide to like group up. And so you fight your way like through like part of the remains of the Mind Flayer ship, meet the elven vampire who like attempts to kill you as soon as he sees you. But once you both realize that you have Mind Flayers, decide to group up, and that's kind of like a constant in this game. Like every time you realize someone has a Mind Flayer, you're kind of both thinking that you should team up.
Okay.
And you have like two quick combat encounters, one with some like brain dogs that the Mind Flayers have called Mind Devourers, one with like a Mind Flayer and some people it's attempting to like take mental control of. And then you like once you get these companions, including your wizard, who is also someone with a tadpole, like all of your companions have tadpoles on their heads. Um, Once you all assemble that, you find yourself like in the middle of a conflict between a grove of druids and the tiefling refugees being harbored at their grove, and the goblins and the absolute. And you're just kind of left to your own devices as to how you're going to figure out how to deal with the refugees, the grove, and also how to deal with the absolute and their gathering army.
Okay, so sounds like you're trying to gather an army as well to fight
Not
them, or is that something that will come up probably later? Because I'm
probably
guessing you're gonna
later.
try to defeat them.
Like right now within this context, like your biggest priority is just getting that tadpole out of your head, or
Yeah.
like trying to understand how to control it, because it's not turning you actively to your knowledge,
Hmm.
but it could have anything could happen at this point. Um, so like what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to find someone within the Druid Grove who can help me. But they're like their main dude, their leader is currently gone. So I'm looking for him, and that's where how I found myself walking into the Goblin camp, and also been given the task of killing everyone in the Druid Grove.
Oh no.
And so I decided, so like I'm just in the middle of trying to find this main druid, who to my understanding, is in the form of a bear somewhere
Hmm.
in this camp, maybe, and seeing if he can help me get this tadpole out of my head, and
Hmm.
then figuring out how I'm going to take out the goblins and their leadership.
Well, if you put out a picnic basket, I'm sure you could find that bear.
Yeah, I haven't tried that tactic yet. I'll have to see if I can find like a trader who's selling a picnic basket.
Possibly. Okay, so you're a fighter. How's the combat been?
Yeah, combat's been pretty all right. Like it's very D&D, you know. You immediately walk into several scenarios. Most of the time, you can like usually talk your way out of combat if you're persuasive enough. And one second. Probably talk your way out of most combat encounters. Um, but there are always going to be moments where you do have to cross swords, and it's just a lot of everyone like has a random initiative roll at the beginning that's like you don't see, but you see the turn order in like the top left hand corner, and there's nothing to really dictate where anyone will wind up being. So there's no like initiative stat that you can dump into. You're just gonna get random rolls each time.
Yeah. So is this a turn-based game, or is it more like
Yeah,
like a
it's a
World of
turn based.
Warcraft where you're attacking animals and to level up?
Yeah, so it's all turn-based. Initially, their first thing that they showed, it was like round-based, right? So it'd be like your team of people go, and then the enemy team goes. But somewhere in development, they decided to like just go like straight 5e rules, so it's all turn-based now, individually turn-based.
Okay, that's cool. I think I've seen some. The only experience I have with like turn-based stuff is mostly Final Fantasy, and I think
Yeah.
one of them has a thing where it'll stack enemies in your party in different ways instead of being like, oh, my 3 people go and then y'all's go and then mine go. To where I feel like having those initiatives set up and everyone kind of goes out of order is a little more fun, a little more unpredictable.
Yeah, it's pretty all right. And your basic D&D stuff. What's interesting though is like if you have two characters who have like a similar initiative or like go after each other in the initiative order,
Hmm.
like their portraits will link up together, and you can control them both simultaneously,
Oh, cool.
which I think is really cool because that like lets you do some more dynamic stuff like in combat, like better position people, your enemies, to where you can just line them up for like an environmental attack or just like a heavy hit from like a fighter who might not be able to reach an enemy, but you can like use your rogue to shove them over to your fighter.
How's the
Um,
early access? Is it
like combat or just like the state of how the
yeah.
game works.
How's the game? Is it rough?
Oh yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned the cinematics earlier, but like there's also like several instances where characters' lips don't move when during dialogue. There are entire items that don't have a portrait yet, so when you look at them in your inventory, you'll just get like question mark
Okay.
as to what it looks like, as well as it's the same thing that applies to like certain buffs that they don't have a portrait for yet. Um, and there, like, to my understanding, there are two exits to this map, and on both exits, they're like, "Hey, you can't go here yet, man.
Hey, this part of the game not even made yet. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
we don't have this part of the game. All you have is this." And I mean, what's there is pretty significant, all things considered. Like, it's a real Larian map.
Yeah.
Um,
How much was it to get into the early access anyway?
it's currently $60.
Okay.
It's a full priced
Okay. But
game in
you
its current state.
but when it's goes 1.0, you have the game, but you're just it'll let you play it.
Yeah, this is like the only time you'll have to pay for the game. Just the price point of $60. They're not gonna like go into 1.0 and be like, okay, now give us like another 30.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I like
because
the
I mean,
idea of these games coming out and like being in early access, giving people the chance to get some previews of the game, kind of like Hades, and then they can
yeah,
where it came out early and it came out to 1.0 like about a year later, and they can kind of use the community to see what things they should patch and stuff.
yeah, and like Larian has like within like their past two games, like Divinity Original Sin 1, 2, like they've kind of done this type thing where they've released the game in 1.0, and then like a year afterwards, they've released the definitive edition of the game.
Hmm.
Which is usually what marks its like port to consoles and such. But like in all these definitive editions, they've reworked a significant amount of both of those games.
Oh, cool. The
Um,
definitive divinity, you could say.
yeah, and I mean, my hope is like perhaps this time around there won't be like a whole like a year later they'll come out with like the definitive edition of like Baldur's Gate. Like this being in early access now, we'll let them do all that work. And by the time they get to 1.0, they won't have to worry about going back and reworking it like they did, because they like the definitive edition of Divinity. Blah, a lot of words right there. The definitive edition of Divinity Original Sin 2 came out when my friend and I were in the middle of our playthrough, and so there's just a lot of upgrades in that definitive edition that we didn't get access to because we were still using the classic version of Original Sin 2.
Interesting. Well, you have any final thoughts before?
Uh, nothing that we can't wait to get into later.
Okay, so we are gonna have a special second episode this week where both Austin and I's friends Sergio Medina is going to be on with us, talking about some deeper dive into Baldur's Gate 3, which should be exciting.
Yeah, Sergio and I have been like talking about certain things about Baldur's Gate as we've been playing, so I look forward to just chatting with him about it.
Yeah, we all went to college together at the newspaper, and I saw both of y'all tweeting about it kind of at the same time, and I was like, this might be fun, because you and Sergio are pretty good friends, and I've been to school with him. Should be fun. Did you play anything else this week, Austin? Anything kind of... You dabble with anything? You
Yeah,
feel like
like I finished like I had two things. Like I dove pretty hard into Hades as well, again, and I also did finish Halo 3 ODST.
Oh gosh. All right. Did you beat Hades?
I've not reached credits.
Okay.
I would say I have made it through I finished several runs of Hades, but I have not reached credits, is what I'll say.
Okay. Any new thoughts about Hades? Still just really fun?
You know, at first, when I was playing Hades, I thought I was just trying to escape from Hades the place. But as it turns out, I'm also trying to escape from Hades the dude.
Oh my gosh.
Which is like just like a real bare summary of it turns out like by the time you've finished a run like 3 times, it becomes very apparent that like, oh yes, this is the real problem. Is the main character Zagreus, who's the son of Hades, is trying to escape some emotional abuse.
Oh.
Within like the House of Hades, and is just trying to understand where he is and what he wants to do.
Okay. Bad dads are bad. Sounds like.
Yeah, Hades the dad kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, he is Hades, the Lord of the Underworld, so I don't know what you expect.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but like, yeah, to be like a dick to your kid.
Yeah, well, how's ODST?
And that's
How do you feel about the ODST?
The ODST. Oh, ODST is pretty great, all things considered.
How long did it take for y'all to beat it? Because I know you played it with your friend.
Yeah, I mean, it took us like a week to like get the time to just like be on the same page as each other and like get the session started, and we did have to like skip like one bit of it because the game didn't like save our progress in the open world. But we did. I think overall it was like less than 7 hours because like we just kind of tore through it in a real way.
Nice.
And it was good. Getting to that conclusion was good. I think it's got some of like my favorite Halo in it, like the parts where you're just like in the destroyed streets of New Mombasa in the wake of the flip space tear in Halo 2. As you're just walking around that ruined city is pretty great.
Yeah, because your character crash lands there, and they're split up from their team, so you're kind of in this open hub of destroyed Mombasa, and you're trying to find their memories. And then that'll be the levels of the other parts of the game, right?
Yeah, so you're trying to find like most of the game takes place in like this hub, and you're trying to find evidence of where your team went. And every time you find like an item, like the first thing you find is the destroyed helmet of your of like the ONI, the Office of Naval Intelligence captain, who y'all are escorting, a woman by the name of Veronica Dare. You find her destroyed helmet, and that leads like sends you into a memory of Buck, who's your squad leader, and also Dare's ex-boyfriend, because that was an important beat to have, I guess. Played by Nathan Fillion.
Of course.
And so his memories, like he fights his way to Dare's pod, is like accosted by a engineer that has her helmet, which then blows up.
Oh no.
After being shot by the group sniper, a man by the name of Romeo.
And then Nathan Fillion also in Halo 5 as a different character?
No, same character. So he's also Buck, but now he's a Spartan.
Oh yeah, they make Buck a Spartan.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Huh.
Yeah.
And also fully mocapped in Halo 5, I think.
Yeah, just straight up. That is just straight up Nathan Fillion's face.
Yeah. We played some Halo 1 too. That was fun. We were shooting not the brutes, but the hunters.
Yeah,
I was
hunters and
just
elites.
distracting them, and you were just sniping them. It worked out very well.
Yeah, it turns out just when you have someone else there to just lure the hunters away from you, it's very easy to take a sniper rifle and just shoot them in the back.
Yeah, I'm a jumpy boy. I was just jumping around the whole time. That was fun. I was enjoying Halo 1. We got
Halo 1's dope.
about 4 missions. We did the sniper. We did the sniper level, and then we went up to the Covenant ship.
We just about finished the 3rd mission, Truth and Reconciliation.
Okay.
But we did crash.
Oh, that's right. It did crash. That's okay.
Yeah, we crashed pretty hard on us.
I took that Halo Magnum and I pistol whipped a bunch of grunts with it, so I got what I wanted out of it.
Yeah.
I'd love that melee animation. And like the needler melees, you're just stabbing people with the end top of it, which is a bunch of needles.
Yeah, you're taking it off of your hand and just shoving the needles into everyone's face. It's quite excessive, and if it was animated in 2020, I think it'd be real disturbing.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
So I
played. What have you been up to?
Oh man, you beat me to it, Austin. Look at you.
Yeah.
I was messing around with some Game Pass stuff, and I saw there's a racing game on there called Hotshot Racing, and it's kind of like a 90s arcade racing game. You ever play like Cruis'n USA or Ridge Racer in the arcade?
Maybe.
All right, so it's like, so at the arcades, you put in some quarters and you're racing, and the game would kick you out unless you hit checkpoints, and you can't finish the race unless you're going fast enough to catch everyone. And in Cruis'n USA, there's a bunch of maps in America pretty much, and a bunch of different racers, and it all looks like PS1 pixelated graphics, kind of, retro 3D or the 3D of the day when it came out. But this is a kind of an homage to that, and there's a little bit of Gran Turismo in there. So it came out in August of 2020, this year, and in September it was on Game Pass. Normally it's $20. It's by Sumo Digital. They did like a bunch of the Team Sonic Racing. They did Snake Pass, if you've ever played it. Apparently they also finished Crackdown 3 and Little Big Planet 3. I think they have a bunch of different like subsidiary studios that will work on different games, but they've been around doing stuff for a while. So this is a $20 smaller game, and it's pretty, man. It's 1080p, 60 frames a second, and it looks like it's harkening back to those 90s arcade games while also still kind of being 60 frames and looking really good like on a modern TV. So when you boot up the game, it's going to ask, you can kind of pick a couple of different ways to race. You have a Grand Prix, a single race, or a time trial. And there are 16 tracks, and so you have 4 Grand Prix. Each of them have 4 different tracks on it, kind of like in Mario Kart when you're racing on like 50, like the different difficulties in Mario Kart to get different trophies. Same thing. So you're winning a race. If you get first place, you get some points. And you're trying to have the highest number when you beat all 4 races. And that's how you win a Prix. So there's also 8 different racers right now from 6 different countries. There's 2 American racers, 2 Japanese racers, and then there's a UK racer, a Chinese racer, a Jamaican racer, and a Russian racer. And they all have 4 types of cars, which is kind of similar to what we were talking about X-Wing last week. You have like the car that's faster, acceleration, the car that's faster, like top speed, a car that's really good at drifting, and then you have a balanced one. So everyone's cars are similar at that point, but all of the models of the cars are kind of based on the racer. So I chose the Japanese racer because I wanted to go do some drifting. And
that's unique to that racer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I picked the R400 Sport, which is really good top speed and still has some pretty good drifting because it's a Japanese. Because since I chose the Japanese driver, all of his cars are a little better at drifting because that's what a lot of those Japanese cars can, like a Toyota or like a Honda Civic or like a those like Mazda Speedster cars. They're all usually better at drifting than like a muscle car. I don't know if you've ever seen the Fast and the Furious drift.
I was about to say,
But
you're like, so I would be ready for this as someone
yes,
who has seen Tokyo Drift.
exactly. You can get they have some of the cars from Tokyo Drift, but so I get to the first race and I pick that car and I'm trying to get used to these controls. They have a really simple control scheme because you're just accelerating and braking, and then you can change your camera to where you can be in the car driving it. And you can see the steering wheel on the front of the car, or you can be third person behind the car. But brake and drift are both on the left trigger. So it takes me about 3. So I start up and I'm like in last place for the whole like first lap. Maybe I'm getting up to like 5th place, but I'm restarting. I restarted like 3 times to learn how to drift and brake.
So what is the nuance there?
What do you mean?
Between between drifting and braking? Like how do you do a drift and not like just hit your brake?
Okay. So when you're coming up to a corner, you'll kind of tap the left trigger, you'll slow the car down. But if you
Yeah.
turn your car a little more, you'll initiate a drift and your
Okay.
car will kind of veer off like 15 degrees and kind of be angled a little more.
Yeah.
And then you'll start drifting and you have to like toggle the left analog stick to control your drift until you get back into a straightaway, because you're basically using the drifting to turn the car better than it normally is, because the wheels are kind of sliding when you're drifting while you're accelerating. So yeah, you have to. There's like a balance between if you're just gonna pull back and slow down and take the corner, and then accelerate when you leave, or you can drift the corner, which can be advantageous for you to get further ahead of people. And then you're building up a boost meter a couple different ways by drifting, there's also another thing called drafting behind another player. So if you're behind a car, they're taking all the wind, and if
Yeah,
you're
so
behind them, it's that pocket of you going faster.
yeah.
So
I've
it'll go
played
faster.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart has it, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and then so you'll build some acceleration and you'll get a boost meter. My car had like 5 bars of boosting pretty much that I could burn one to go faster for a little bit. And by the end of the first race, I burnt all 5 bars at the same time and just zipped past some people. And then I realized in my other races, I was like, okay, at a straightaway on the second lap, I'm going to boost and pull ahead. So I would pull ahead from second to first, and I'd try to keep my first place. And then like the third lap of one of the final races, someone was pulling ahead of me, so I just boosted past them to get first place. And then you win, and you get some money for it, and you use that money to buy cosmetics for your cars. You can get different color outfits, different colors for your cars, and some little parts to like some spoilers or some new wheels. But all the cars are set up as their stats already, so you're not really upgrading
Okay.
cars.
So you're not like getting performance upgrades.
No, all the cars are locked like that, and there's multiplayer too.
All right.
And all 32 cars that are in it, because each racer has 4 each of the 8 racers has 4 cars. They all are slightly tuned differently. Even though every character has a car that's really good at accelerating, some of them might drift better, some of them might have a higher top speed. So there's a lot of push and pull on like what kind of racer you want to be, which is really fun.
So each racer has like that bonus that they add to their cars.
Yeah, and I think the developers kind of picked which ones they thought each racer would have a little more of. Like I'm sure the muscle cars for America have like a high top speed and a high acceleration, but maybe not as good drifting.
Yeah.
Oh, and it yells checkpoint at you, which is a thing
Oh.
that Cruising USA does. It'll be like, you'll hit the checkpoint, and it'll be like, checkpoint! Which is like a thing Cruising USA used to do, so it's like a nostalgia thing.
I
Mhm.
see. Nostalgic.
Yeah. And what is nostalgia? Do you play a lot of Mario Kart? It's like a lot of the same stuff that's in Mario Kart.
I only like I played Mario Kart like when it was Mario Kart Wii.
Oh yeah.
That's about it. That's just my only real frame of reference, besides like Wipeout, and I don't think Wipeout would be particularly helpful here.
No, but they're similar. They're similar enough. It's you're doing Grand Prix where you're doing a set of 4 races. It's a lot of the same stuff. I mean, for $20, it's pretty cool, and it's on Game Pass. I'll probably mess around with it a little more. There's no power up pickups like in Mario Kart, but I think it scratches a certain like racing
Oh
arcade
darn! You're
thing.
not throwing banana peels backwards at your opponents?
No, I'm not throwing banana peels or blue turtle shells.
Oh.
It's pretty though, and it's on Switch also. It's on Switch, PS4, PC, Xbox One. $20, free on Game Pass. And then let me tell you, Austin, that Animal Crossing Halloween update's pretty spooky.
Yes, onto the spooks.
Yeah.
The Animal Crossing spooky season has arrived.
It was like October 1st, all those things started being added to the game. So like Nook sold me some pumpkin seeds, so I went over to like a plot of land in my island and just like put some dirt tiles down and put the pumpkin seeds on there. So I was growing some pumpkins, and it takes about 3 days to grow them. And then you can take those pumpkins and you can craft the Halloween furniture out of them, which is interesting. Normally, in the older games, you would get the furniture on Halloween by giving villagers candy, and then they would give you some furniture, and then Jack, the czar of Halloween, as we heard before, would give you some furniture as well. But in this one, what they're doing is that crafting. So they want you to craft the furniture. So like one villager a day will be in their house crafting something for 3 hours, and then it'll change every 3 hours to another villager. So once a day, I think you can get a recipe. You might be able to get more than one. I haven't tried it yet. So you get the recipe card and you learn it, and then it'll tell you need like 3 iron and like 4 pumpkins to make this pumpkin table. Or I can buy pumpkin furniture from Nook. He'll have a special item once a day, in addition to like the 3 other furniture, like normal furniture stuff he has. But I can't reorder them. But I've been putting all the Halloween furniture out in the my village, and then there's a bunch of spooky fences. So I was putting spooky fences up too. It's really fun.
So when you say like reorder, like you can't reorder furniture from Tom Nook, does that mean like it's a one-time purchase?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
the event furniture is a one-time purchase. You can reorder everything else, like a normal furniture stuff, but you have to make the spooky furniture. And it's cool looking.
So how spooky is your island now?
It's getting there. I've been putting a bunch of candles up everywhere. I have a bunch of paths that are like stone paths, and I put candles around it. And then I start putting up fences. I'll get some more. I want to cover the whole island in the spooky fences, which they look like the Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of like thin metal fences and stuff like that. I have a bunch of
like
jack-o'-lanterns.
spikes on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the good stuff.
As to deter the hooligans from jumping.
Yeah, they changed the spooky furniture though, which I'm kind of angry about.
Oh.
Because right now in New Horizons, The spooky furniture is more pumpkin looking. Like you get a pumpkin cart that's kind of like from Cinderella, or you get like a hay bale with a couple pumpkins by it, and you can sit on it, or you have like a pumpkin table. The only cool ones I like are there's like a scarecrow, there's like a archway that's like a tree that has some pumpkins on it, and some bats, and then there's like a hanging lantern off of a tree with a bat on it. Like the old spooky furniture from like the GameCube Animal Crossing was like more like a home set that you'd put in your house, because you couldn't put furniture outside in the other games. So in the GameCube version, I'd have like they all were orange furniture, like normal looking furniture, but they'd all have a jack-o'-lantern face on them. They're really fun. I miss the old sets, but they just change them every year for different stuff. But the current spooky set looks more like an outdoors like furniture to decorate your town with, because that's what a lot of people are having more fun with, is they're decorating their town with all this furniture and not just decorating their house with stuff. This is the old spooky furniture. Take a look at that. I sent you a Discord.
Up. Here we go. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is... Wow.
Yeah.
That's all very orange. I do like that rug, though.
Oh, yeah, the rug's real good. I like the rug. And here's the new spooky furniture. Oh, yeah, the rug is just a bunch of pumpkins.
Yeah, oh, man. The rug looks like... Yeah. Yeah, I can see... Is this on Etsy? What?
Well, you can buy furniture. I bought a bunch of furniture on eBay and Animal Crossing. People, it's weird. There's a whole market of people making money off of Animal Crossing. That's interesting. One of the best-selling Switch games of all time, Austin. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a game. Don't worry about it.
One day, maybe. I doubt it. But so yeah, this all looks like this all like a lot of outdoor wear. I think the archway you talked about looks all right. The fences, a bit elaborate for my taste.
Yeah, it's a little pumpkin. It's a little pumpkin in the middle. Everything's a pumpkin, Austin.
I don't know. This hay seat doesn't look like it has much back support. I don't know if I.
Oh yeah.
Approve of that.
Yeah, it's just you just sit in the hay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played some Fortnite too. Fortnite got me, Austin.
Oh no! See, this we shouldn't have talked about St. Vincent on here.
Yeah, I watched the St. Vincent video, and now I'm in Fortnite.
Yeah, now you're in Fortnite.
Man, the Marvel update's really fun. Did I talk about the Marvel update last week? I don't remember.
I have such an inability to actually retain information as it's related to Fortnite. So you might have.
It's okay, me too. But let me tell you about it for a little bit. They got a bunch of Marvel characters. They're X-Men and they're regular Marvel people like Doctor Doom, Iron Man, Thor. So they have a bunch of cosmetics, and then they have some added game modes. One of them is like you have the map, and you'll be on two teams, and you can respawn, and you'll spawn in, and there's the circle, which will be around 2 control points. So you're getting points based on your team holding that. I'll call it A and B, and they're kind of far apart, so you can go back and forth between them, and the circle is moving around. So it's pretty fun. Everyone's just dropping in, and there's a bunch of like Marvel-themed abilities you can pick up. Like I got, and everyone's shooting basically like either Iron Man's repulsors at people instead of their normal guns, or Doctor Doom's gauntlets, and I'm shooting this spooky green ammo at people. And then you are collecting other stuff. So I got like a ball that I can roll in that's basically like Groot themed. So I'm in a ball of like vines and like tree branches, and I can roll faster. And that's a movement ability. And the other movement ability is like the Silver Surfer surfboard, so I'm flying around. Lots of fun.
These operate like vehicles in Fortnite, or?
So they're not like a vehicle. Well, the Groot one is a vehicle. You'll activate it, and you'll be in the ball for like 10 or 20 seconds, and it'll just help you to get from one place to the other faster. And the surfboard, you'll launch in the air, and you'll surf down. So it's like you're getting distance from people by going up in the air and then coming down to land. And then you have like a hover mode where you'll shoot your repulsors down, and you'll shoot up in the air, and you can kind of hover and shoot people. And it's cool. That one, you're just respawning, you're just running around. Like base Fortnite, what I was having fun with is just, since I don't play a lot of Fortnite, they do their battle royale differently than like Apex Legends or PUBG. To where if you're new to the game and you're trying to learn how to play, they'll put some bots in your battle royale matches, which is really nice. So you're learning how to move up on people. And so like as you're getting better, they're going to track your like first places or how many kills you're getting, and they're going to create your rank, and they'll start putting you with less bots. So in one game of like 100 people drop in, maybe I don't know if it's 100 people actually, but sometimes they'll have like 50 bots and 50 people, and the people will run off, and sometimes you'll fight a bot, sometimes you'll fight a person. You can tell who the bots are when you beat a game. You can go to like report a player, and it'll show you the real players, so you can count how many are in it.
All right.
It's cool because one of my friend Chris and I, we're gonna play it a little bit because I think it's only like a 20 gig download just for the battle royale. So to teach him how to play that, I think that's a fun way to do it. Whereas in like Apex, he was wanting me to play Apex, and I was like, dude, we're gonna drop an Apex and we're just gonna get smoked.
Oh yeah.
I think that's neat.
I think like if I were to ever return to battle royales, like that would, like hearing that would definitely get me to think about doing Fortnite before like anything else, because every time I've tried to get back into Apex, it's just been a disaster.
Yeah, salt. And Fortnite has the luxury of having a younger crowd of audience that might not be as good at video games that I can beat them against.
Yeah, being able to, that's the other thing, just being able to destroy children in Fortnite also has its own like strange appeal to it.
My skills of gaming for the last 18 years finally pays off when I get my chicken dinner in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And the shooting, like I bought Fortnite when it came out originally, and it was a PvE game where it was a horde mode and you were building stuff.
Yeah.
And people bought early access, and early access released on store shelves. And then PUBG got really big, and they made that battle royale, and it just blew up after that. So the original Fortnite map is not too complex, and it was a little janky. They did release Fortnite like 2.0 a while back. I think it was about 6 months to a year ago. Let me see. It was April. When did Fortnite Chapter 2 come out?
This is like when they shut the servers down for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they shut the servers down. They re-released the map. It came out February 20th. Yeah.
Yeah, because that would have been when that was the biggest thing in the news. So
yes. So they made the map bigger, and they put more waterways in the map, and there's bridges with waterways under it, and they have like a rotating areas. Like they'll show up new areas, like Stark's Labs is an area just in the regular battle royale, and you can recruit Stark's robots, drones that will help you fight people. And then there's some like hot rod race cars in his lab area. And the building, when you're fighting other people, most people are just putting up walls. There's not a lot of complex building. Like sometimes people will make stairs to get a height advantage. So that'll usually be the last fight you get in, is where the complex building comes in. But most of the outset, people are hiding in trees and bushes like a PUBG. Maybe you get in a gunfight and you put a couple walls up in front of you, and that's about it. It's super easy. So I've been having a good time. I'll just jump on, play a game or two of the regular Battle Royale, or I'll play the Marvel stuff. I have a Bifrost, like, neon glow behind me when I'm dropping, which is really cool. It looks like the Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, the rainbow
hmm
pattern.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
cool.
dope. So like
I'm,
the base battle royale and this Marvel like stuff are like two separate modes.
yeah. So they'll
Okay.
have two different. They'll have a bunch of options when you load it up, and the Marvel stuff will be at the top. So you can
All
pick
right.
like a Marvel squads mode where it's a bunch of squads of 3 with Marvel powers, and then you have the team deathmatch controlling bases, and then you have the regular battle royale on the bottom where you can do solos, duos, quads, and then they'll have like a Fortnite team deathmatch style thing.
All right. Because like back when I once I stopped playing Fortnite, like they were just like modes that they had were just like events that they put in the middle of a battle royale map. So like Thanos was just like a thing
hmm
that you
hmm
found instead of like a separate mode, to my understanding of it.
Yeah. So the battle royale regular event right now is the Stark stuff. So there's
Ah,
a
okay.
uh, laboratory, and I think there might be one other thing. When you start up, like the whole Fortnite 2.0 map has a bunch of question marks on it, and
Hmm.
you'll get to a new area and it'll tell you what it is, which is really cool. All right, that's
All
Fortnite.
right.
Let's get to our first break, and we'll come back with some news. All right, hey, welcome back from the break. We got a bunch of news here, Austin. Man,
Oh boy, do we.
oh, it's not a slow news week this week. Haha. They had that PS5 video that came out on YouTube by, I think Sony released it. It was about their technical, as the VP of PlayStation Mechanicals Design,
Yeah.
Yashiro Otori. He was basically opening up the PS5 and talking about each component of it. It's a cool video. I was really into it.
Yeah. Just a real tear down, some would say.
Oh gosh.
Not emotional though, like I was expecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he took like this thing apart piece by piece and showed us everything.
Yeah, what I really liked about it is when they kind of start the video, they're showing like they're labeling like the USB-C port and the USB-A port,
Yeah.
and then they're doing all the outside stuff. And then this thing is like a sandwich. I'm gonna say it's like an Oreo. You got that cream filling, which is all the mechanical parts, and then you have the 2 crackers on top. And he basically pulls the 2 parts of the PS5 to reveal it's just like a computer in the middle of it that has all its giant fan in there
Yeah,
and
dude, the
its
fan is
vents that
huge.
dust blockers and all that.
Yeah, like also like as this video starts, it's already like the most useful information I've gotten on this system because like now I know how the stand works.
Mm, it's true. You can unscrew the stand and you put the screw from the stand
In the
inside the
stand,
stand
yeah.
itself. And then you clip the stand to the under the PS5 because I don't think without the stand it might be a little lopsided. I don't know. I'm gonna lose that stand in like 6 months. I'm guessing.
I'll guard that stand with my life.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, but like you put it on the underside of it that has like on like the back side of it, there's a little inscription where there's I think it looks like a number of like PlayStation buttons,
Mm.
and like you put a hook on the stand on either side, like you hook the stand to that area, and that's how you can get the PS5 like laid down on its side.
Yeah. So Stan confirmed for having to lay it down like everyone else does, just on its bottom flat
Yeah,
part. And they did have a slot for expandable storage on there, which looked really cool. It's just like a slot you open up and you can put in it's an M.2 slot, and you can put it's a PCLE 4.0 compatible drive, which is just like this little drive that I think it's about maybe like a Snickers bar, maybe a little shorter than a Snickers bar, but it's not as like wide. It's like as long as a Snickers bar, but it's pretty thin.
Yeah,
I think
that
they have
official
like a
unit of
terabyte.
measurement, the
Yeah,
Snickers bar.
I was looking at this. I'm like, what does this look like? And I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like a Snickers bar, like the
What
size.
candy could I store in here?
Yes. How much candy can I store in here for Halloween for my children?
You went to Snickers bar. I went to Three Musketeers. We are not the same.
Correct.
Uh,
But I guess you can get 1 terabytes for it. I'm guessing Sony will sell them, and you can probably
yeah,
get some third-party ones, which is the opposite of Microsoft, which you just need a USB memory card for 1 terabyte to plug in, and those are like $100 or something.
yeah, and I feel like that's pretty par for the course with Sony is they want to make stuff that like just obtuse enough to use that like you'll go to the stuff they provide for you before going to like a third party.
Dude, that cooling fan is huge.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it's wild. I will say like this looks a lot easier to take apart and like on the base level than like the PS4 Pro is, at least for me anyway.
Yeah.
Like to clean it out because they showed it here. Like you just take off like the top lid, and there's two ducts where you can just vacuum out dust from it. Whereas opposed to like the PlayStation 4, you have to like undo like 4 different hooks on the top plate. And it looks easy enough to do for most people, but like on my current model, I feel like I've messed it up to a point where I'm not particularly sure if I should be using the disk drive on my Pro anymore.
Huh.
Because I think I might have goofed something up when I was taking off the top lid. So I haven't cleaned out the fan of my Pro since like the first time I did it.
Damn, I don't think I've messed with my PS4 or my Slim. I don't have my regular PS4 anymore, but my Slim, I don't think I've ever cleaned the fans. I probably should. But speaking of disk drives, they have like a silent disk drive that's like an aluminum plated or some kind of housing unit that's super quiet that the disk drive is going to be in because it's like a
Yeah,
4K disk
it's an
drive.
Ultra HD.
Uh-huh.
It's like finally now I can finally watch what Ultra HD movies do I have? I think I just have Ultra HD of like Blade Runner 2049. So now I can see like the rain on Ryan Gosling's face
Oh
in
yeah,
4K.
yeah, yeah. Good stuff. I still need to rewatch that movie. I've just seen it in theaters. It's exciting.
It's all right.
Yeah, they did a take on it. What else is in this thing? It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. Or is that multiple 16 gigabytes of RAM? There's like a bunch of RAM chips on here because they took out the board and they're showing off everything that's on there. Oh, a
Um.
heat sink, big old heat sink in there.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. It looks good. It's a big. It's probably the same size as my PC, just like thinner. It's probably as tall as it is. Maybe taller. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't even
think
know
it's
where
a
I'm gonna. I'm looking behind my TV because it's just like a. It's like I have like a regular PC monitor, and I don't know where that thing is gonna go yet.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm probably gonna have to clear off because like I have a pretty shabby entertainment center space. I'm probably gonna have to clear like the Xbox 360 off of there
Yeah.
that I don't use. And even then, I think it's hopefully I'll be able to have no space where I can lay it down on its side because if I have to stand this thing up, it's definitely gonna uh like be too tall, like to where it will like block a bit of my TV.
Yeah. Do you think the fan is set up to where like okay, so there's a stand on the bottom of the PS5. Do you think it's on that stand so it can vent air better? Or is that just they just made a weird shaped console and they couldn't lay it flat normally?
I mean, I think like definitely like as far as it goes, like putting the stand on the side, like when you want to like place it on its side, like yeah, that's probably why they have the stand there, is like both shape and just allowing air to flow better. Um, as far as like on standing, like I think it's pretty much the same thing there.
Yeah.
I don't really, I don't. It looks like this thing just looks like a big fan with like some technology in it, really.
Yeah.
Um,
It looks like something from a sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah, it's like they really, if there's a single criticism they seem to have taken to heart about the PS4, it's the fact that its ventilation is not great.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that it's not going to be as hot of a console. My regular PS4 didn't run too hot. Maybe after 6 hours of gaming, like it was hot on top of it. Slim's not too bad.
Yeah, my PS4's only gotten like loud with certain games, and even then, usually it's only if I I exit out of the game to go to the home screen.
I think Anthem had a lot of problems when I was playing it. That it would get really hot or it would like blue screen it blue screened once. That game launched weirdly. Yeah, it's coming out November 12th. 1 month from now, the PS5 will be in consumers' hands. And then maybe 6 months after that I'll use it. We'll see. I'm waiting for the game, Austin.
Yeah, waiting for just a good price tag.
Yeah, that too. I don't want to pay. I want to pay like $400 for this thing because that's how much I paid for my PS4. Or if I win the lottery, I'll buy a PS5 for myself and Series X and a new graphics card.
Yeah,
that's what you do with the lottery instead of saving it, or you buy things you don't need with it.
I feel like it's what everyone does with the lottery, right? They all just buy their video game consoles and a graphics card, and just the graphics card. Most of them don't even go on to build a PC. They just want their 2080s.
Correct. All right, and then the second news I have is Sony was kind of talking about PS4 to PS5 compatibility. It looks like 99% of PS4 games will work on the PS5. Did you take a look at that list of stuff that doesn't work?
Yeah, I looked at this list of games that just won't work on the PS4.
Yeah, it's 10 games.
Yeah, from so far.
So far, yeah.
This will
The
definitely
ones that stand out are Hitman Go, Shadow Complex Remastered, and like Afro Samurai 2.
Yeah, like that's like the caliber of games that like doesn't work, and that's not too concerning for me as someone who isn't into any of these.
Yeah. And then so you'll be able to play all digital versions of your compatible PS4 games on the PS5. This is the regular and the
And the disk drive.
mhm.
Yeah.
You can use physical PS4 game discs on the PS5. When you sign into the PS5 with your PSN account, you'll see your library. Saves is what I'm confused about. You can transfer digital games, game data, and game saves from a PS4 to a PS5 with a LAN cable or wirelessly through cloud storage, but I don't know if all games. It's a developer decision and will vary from title to title. Like Miles Morales and Sackboy Big Adventure will have save transfer.
Yeah, I guess the thing some people are like getting heat about is like, oh no, the saves won't transfer, and it's like, I mean, yeah,
Just play the game over again. You'll be
they were
alright.
probably never going to like save transfers. Like, to my understanding, is actually relatively new when it comes to like generational, like crossing the generation here.
Yeah. So which
Like,
is what they're trying to bridge, because they're trying to bridge their consoles. So you can Xbox has been doing it. And now they're like, okay, the PS4 and the PS5 and the PS6 are all going to be linked. Your stuff is going to carry over. Your purchases are going to carry over. I think they're starting to build that architecture, which we've never seen before, really. What do you think?
yeah, yeah, I think it's an interesting. Like, they're getting their baby steps in with this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so like using certain games can use cloud saves to port save files over, which is nice. It's not something I expected. When I thought these, when we knew these were coming out, but we didn't know much about them.
Uh-huh.
I'd say it's fairly, like, if anything, like the thing that's made this a bit more complicated is just like devs like making specific versions of their games for like the purposes of cross-gen upgrades, like Control, for instance.
Yeah.
I think Sony's been relatively clear on some of this messaging. It's just leaving it to developers is like I think where most of this confusion has come from for me.
So like you have to buy the PS5 version of Control, but if
Well,
you
you have to buy like the Ultimate Edition of
yeah,
Control that came out
yeah.
not too long ago, and that will let you upgrade.
Yes, but if you own Control digitally on the PS4, you can play it on your PS5, but you're playing the PS4
Yeah,
version.
you're playing the specific PS4 version, so that's without like the gameplay improvements.
Yeah, which for Control it's very well needed. Like I want the PS5 version of Control because that game the physics and the way that game runs on regular stuff was not well. Even on
Yeah,
I'm guessing on a Pro it probably runs better, but I want that SSD load times and all that good PS5 processor stuff for that game. So I
yeah,
heard that
like
Control is best on PC until we see what it's like on PS5 and Xbox Series S,
yeah,
Series X.
like on a Pro, my main thing with Control is every time you leave a menu, you have like a few seconds where like it's stuttering, where the frames are stuttering and the game's not.
Hmm.
Takes
I
just a
played
little while to get back into it.
I played mine on the One S Xbox, and it's not great. Apparently, it ran better than a base PS4, which is why I got it. I got it for like $30 on Xbox.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get it again if I get another console for that Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, Control is a game I like enough, and I haven't played the DLC. So
I haven't
like
I haven't beaten
Ultimate Edition.
Control either, so that's a
Yeah.
good rebuy.
Yeah. So like seeing it on on the PS5 storefront, I would definitely consider buying it again.
Yeah. Did you look at any of that Bug Snacks coverage that was coming out?
Yeah, I went over some of this bug snack early impressions. Um it seems fun.
Yeah.
It seems pretty whimsical. I kind of knew I was always probably gonna be like a mark for this game, like when their second trailer came out and it's like, you're the journalist. And I was like, ah, dang it. They got me. Because I'm a journalism major, so I have to play games about, journalism.
Yep. You're a journalist. It's super funny. They just start you out and they're like, "Hey, there's this island of Bug Snacks, and we've never seen this before. And there's a bunch of explorers there, and you're the journalist, and you need to go down there and see what's going on." So they give you a camera. So you're kind of taking pictures of the wildlife down there too. So you're a little bit of a they got some Pokemon Snap stuff going on, is what some people would use to describe that. I think you're just taking photos of stuff, though.
Yeah. Well, looks like you're also capturing the bug snacks.
Yes, to feed them to people, because people want to
Ye-
eat these snacks.
Oh, that's so weird.
It is kind of weird. I didn't expect you to feed people these bug snacks. Okay, the biggest thing is when you feed them these bug snacks is their arms and legs will start looking like the snack you fed them. So this one guy
Yeah.
had two carrot legs, and the preview I was watching, they're like, they asked the developers, they were like, so are people just gonna have carrot legs forever, or is this like a limited time thing? Like, are you gonna wake up and they'll be gone? Or are you just mutating your body in like some Cronenberg type fly thing where you're fusing with a fly? I don't know. But bug snacks, the Roodle, that's a carrot. It's so cute.
I just, man, I don't know. It looks like a part of me is like, this looks very fun. And then like the whole like body morphing is like, oh, look at this eldritch horror that
It's
you're
so.
creating.
Oh, you get zip line. You get grappling hooks that you can grab bug snacks with. You get traps that are like a line trap. You're basically a hunter, a journalist, and like a archaeologist. Or not? What would you call someone who's taking pictures of wildlife in an area? Can't think of the word.
Uh, is that
National
eco?
Geographic photographer. Maybe you're making
uh,
a journal.
would it be like ecologist? Is that?
Let's go with that. But the developers of this game, their previous game was Octodad, Dadliest Catch, and I see some Octodad in here. These people look like the Octodad character models.
Yeah.
Ketchup is growing on trees, and you throw ketchup to get the burger bug snack to go get the ketchup. Oh man.
Yeah, the more I look at this, the more disturbed I am.
I get Viva Pinata feels off it a little bit, and I love that game.
Yeah, people have always told me like Viva Pinata was good.
Bug Snacks comes out in a month, Austin.
Oh no, I don't know if I can handle this. What this is gonna do to my November?
November 12th, Austin.
Oh my gosh.
Epic Game Store, PS4 and PS5. I'm either gonna get it on PS4 or Epic Game Store. I can't decide. I'm definitely playing this. I want to. It's all first person, and you're looking at all these weird bug snacks, and everyone's Australian when they're talking to you.
Twitter's gonna be a nightmare when this releases.
I'm so excited. You got to use your journalistic instinct, Austin.
Yeah, no, like finally my education will be good for something, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Once you get to the point,
thoughts?
Or
you want to complain about your education? Let's go. What's up?
I just, if this was really going to be like a journalism sim, there just has to be a point in time Bugsnax where you're forced to sit in a really cramped office space and write up like a 400 to 600 piece on the status of the Bugsnax in less than 2 hours, or you fail.
Of course, you have to tell the world about these Bugsnax while you're making really bad tasting coffee and
mutating your
donuts that are in the break room.
Coworkers.
Yeah, mutate your coworkers. See, that's the sequel. We're writing the sequel to Bugsnax, which is you're getting all the photos from the first game, and you have to write the story after while catching Bugsnax around the office.
Good lord.
It's a giant office, Austin, but where you write your pieces is a very small, cramped room, and you have to spend the majority of the game in that room writing about Bugsnax.
Then the third game is just you in the room as you try to survive the weird apocalypse that you've brought upon yourself by recklessly feeding Bugsnax to everyone you meet.
Oh yeah, of course, the Bugsnax revolution. Well, besides the weird Elder Tour, it looks delightful and weird, so I'm ready.
I'll probably I'll need to see more of it.
I'm curious if it'll be full price $60 or if it'll be like $40. I don't know if they've said yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've announced a price.
Let's see. There's a pre-order on Epic Game Store. Austin, you'll never guess how much this game is, Austin.
$25.
How'd you know that?
Based off of the fact it's from the people who made Octodad.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks kind of small. And also I'm looking at it on the Epic Game Store.
Well, it's on. I can pre-order this for $21 on Epic for that less. So I might just get it on Epic since they have a 15% discount for pre-order. Sure, Epic. Give me stuff cheaper. That's what I like to hear. Did you look at this? There's an article from Forbes by Paul Tassi about the Avengers player base dipping below 1,000 players on PC, which isn't surprising.
No, I wouldn't say it's particularly surprising.
Because that game came out, people played the campaign. They did some endgame stuff, which I don't even know what they did for endgame in that because I haven't kept up with it. But seems like a similar boat to Anthem, where they put the game out and they don't have a robust enough endgame. And now we're waiting to see if the players of Avengers will get their DLC to have new stuff. Like I think they're doing that Ant-Man DLC, and there's like a Hawkeye DLC. And then Kate Bishop as one of the Hawk people.
Yeah, Hawkeye. They're getting they've announced a few heroes. We just don't know, to my understanding, like when they're coming. Like Kate Bishop is supposed to be here at the end of October.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if just adding new stuff is gonna keep people into this game.
Yeah, the biggest way most of these games will get their player base back is like, I'll use the Destiny comparison, is like you have like the Taken King DLC, which you could, when the Taken King came out, you could buy Destiny and the Taken King for $60 and have all of Destiny 1 and Taken King and these new fixes. But then you had those smaller DLCs for the regular player base of people who already are invested in this. The Dark Below and the other one, just to kind of be like, hey, here's stuff for you to do. It might not get more players, but it'll keep players who are still playing Avengers their kind of promised like raid content.
Yeah. And I'm just too like unfamiliar with like the content model of Avengers. To understand, but it looks like a lot of this is just like they haven't delivered on the Hawkeye stuff yet, which was supposed to be pretty close to launch.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know if like new characters are going to be the thing that saves this game. Like I imagine when Spider-Man comes out, we'll get like a pretty big bump on like the PS4 side of this game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like the two Hawkeyes and maybe Ant-Man.
Like the
Uh, are the,
I can't think of any, like they would have to drop like, what I think would be a cool idea is they have like, I'm going to use an example, like the Avengers 2 Age of Ultron DLC drop, where they drop 4 characters at the same time and a new set of story stuff that would come out. Like that would be my idea of like a good content drop.
yeah, so like a whole like basically like a sequel's worth of game.
Yeah. Or a mini sequel.
Yeah, like that's the kind of thing that I would need here because I don't have, and I imagine most people playing this game don't have enough like attachment to Marvel IP that they haven't seen in like the movies.
Yeah. Whereas
So
the
like,
video games, there's not a lot of Marvel stuff. So if you're just doing something where you're hanging out with your friends and you want to throw Captain America's shield, how long will this last you? I don't know. Depends what you're doing. What do you think?
I I think this is just I think Avengers is probably gonna end up being another one of these service games that doesn't like have the time it needed to grow into something particularly interesting.
Yeah. Like I think like Baldur's Gate 3, for example, early access, you can play the campaign, they can fix some stuff, but I'm sure Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix had to release this game, get that 10 to 14 hour campaign out for people to enjoy it, and then you kind of have this end game stuff which isn't really there too much except for their Warzone missions, which are like their, I don't know if the Warzone missions are the raids, but they have their puzzly style combat stuff, which is more akin to like not things you saw in the campaign, something a little more difficult that might take like 3 to 5 hours to beat. Who knows? We'll see.
Mm, I
That's
could
what
not. I couldn't imagine playing this game for 3 to 5 hours,
straight.
like straight. Yeah, I could not imagine playing this game for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, not even for the campaign.
No, no, certainly not the campaign.
Oh, but Kamala Khan, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd be like maybe 2 hour like windows with Avengers, and then I think at some point that gameplay would just wear on me. I'd have to stop and do something else.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that. Like with a shooter, at least I'm like, I feel like I'm directly interacting with stuff like a third person shooter or first person shooter where I'm targeting and shooting. But a melee brawler, I don't know. I feel you on that. Like I was watching some gameplay and I watched like the Marvel's Avengers video game, the movie on YouTube, just to watch the story stuff. The story's cool. But I don't know if the gameplay would last me for 5 hours. I might want to take a break and do something else.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, like, a lot of the things I've seen with Avengers, like, through gameplays, most of these characters are just punching people, you know? Like, there's some that are doing it with superpowers, others are doing it with, like, gymnastics. And, like, I don't know, that doesn't excite me in a real way. Like, having, like, Kamala, like, punch people with big hands doesn't, like, get me excited about this. Seeing, like seeing Kate Bishop do some cool, like, acrobatic archery is dope for a bit, but I don't think that could bring this or
Yeah,
bring me
maybe
back.
Spider-Man will have some okay stuff. I think the interesting characters are like Iron Man to me, just because he's flying around shooting people. But I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't think I'm gonna buy that game. I was about to say maybe I should play that game and try it, but I
Oh,
don't know. Like maybe I'll rent it off like GameFly. Get back. I don't know. GameFly. Oof. Did you see this Sega Dreamcast Mini stuff that Sega was hinting at?
no, I tuned out of the mini discourse a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, the Super Nintendo or the regular Nintendo Entertainment System Classic came out in 2016. What was it? $75, $100. Had 30 games on it. Gosh,
Well, the NES Classic I think was like 60.
I think it was 60. And the
It's like,
PlayStation Classic came out and nobody bought it because they made the bad version of it.
yeah, and it was like $100 at launch.
It was $100 and it was mostly games that didn't have analog stick stuff. Like I think the PS1's library of games is stronger towards the second half. Like the core stuff of like, Final Fantasy VII and like Gran Turismo are great, but I think they were missing out on some of the platformers that like I'm sure Activision didn't want. Like that Crash Bandicoot to be on there.
Yeah.
QPS1 is cute though.
Like looking at everything on this like sick. Like, yeah, I can't. The only thing that would like attract me to this is Metal Gear Solid, Siphon Filter. That's
Grand Theft Auto 1.
kind of it. No,
I like Grand. It's top down and it's dumb.
certainly not Grand Theft Auto 1, but like Final Fantasy 7 is like available everywhere.
Yeah. Tekken
A
3 is
lot.
pretty cool though.
Yeah, there's like a couple of fighting games. I don't even. What is this? Wild Arms.
That's an RPG.
Okay, that looked like anime, and so I was like, oh, that's either an RPG or a fighting game cinematic.
Yeah, it's an RPG. It's a turn-based.
Yeah,
I think
like
it's got mechs in it.
the best
Ridge Racer
version.
4, Persona, Revelations Persona. It's not bad, man. Maybe I should find one of these for $30 and just put it on a shelf.
But like, yeah, like this just is not a particularly impressive library to me.
All right, let's see how much it is on Amazon right now. It's $70. That's still too much. Remember Best Buy was like trying to basically giving them away for like $20 at one point.
Yeah. But like,
what would you put on a Dreamcast Classic?
I never played the Dreamcast. I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. So my uncle had one.
I don't think I was necessarily too young, but my family didn't get a second video game console until the like Xbox. You know, like we had technically third because we had my dad's NES, and then my siblings got an N64, and then we got an Xbox.
Oh, for that good Halo childhood.
No,
Halo.
my dad wanted to use the Xbox to play DVDs.
Didn't you have to buy an adapter?
Yeah, he did. You had to buy an additional adapter.
Let me tell you about the PlayStation 2, Austin. You can just play DVDs and CDs right away with it.
Yeah, but the Xbox was, American, I don't know. It had that appeal. We didn't actually like play the Xbox a lot until my mom's friend's son brought over Halo 2, and we just ended up really enjoying that.
To use a video game console for video games.
Yeah. So, like, so I wouldn't know, like, what would you put on it if you?
I
you
would
could.
hope they would put Seaman on there so you can talk to Leonard Nimoy as a fish.
God. Oh.
And Shenmue 1 so I could drive my forklifts.
Oh no.
Some Sonic games. I would put really weird Dreamcast games on there.
Yeah, but like, okay, Seaman, sure, that fits. Sonic games probably, like, I can't imagine why you'd put Shenmue on it because Shenmue's available.
Yeah, but Shenmue 1 was a Dreamcast game, Austin.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't.
Crazy Taxi.
Like, was
Soul
was
Calibur.
was Jet Set Radio Dreamcast?
Yeah, Jet Set Radio.
Okay, so that's one I think people would do because I don't think I can buy Jet Set Radio wherever.
Yeah, but let me tell you about the story of Ryo Hayazaki, a young man who sees his father get killed by a mysterious warrior, Austin.
We don't need to talk about
that. Yep. Probably Skies of Arcadia because people like that game.
I honestly don't know if I own Shenmue 1.
Yeah, I've never played
I'm scared to think that I probably do.
Yeah.
Because I did put $80 into the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter.
I don't know why you would do that.
I was a child, and do you remember the E3 that was announced? Do you remember the clip that was going around of that dude getting real excited?
Yeah.
For a game, like, so I was really I would like the game site that I used at the time when that was announced was GameTrailers.com. So I was watching that stream, their E3 live stream, when the guy who got really excited, a fellow by the name of Michael Huber, absolutely lost it. To the point where he was like, after it had been announced, he was like crying at the table. He was genuinely like very shook, some would say.
Yeah, 2015. Austin, that was 5 years ago that you backed
5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago, and he'd been doing a series of Shenmue streams that I was really into. Like, I enjoyed watching him play Shenmue, and that made me think I liked Shenmue.
Oh,
so
as it turns out.
So as soon as I started earning any amount of money, like one of the first things I did was spend $80 to get Shenmue 3 off of Kickstarter.
Yeah, how much did you play Shenmue 3?
I installed the disc. I have seen the main menu. I have redeemed my Kickstarter rewards. I have never touched that game.
That's okay. You just want that man to be happy.
I just wanted that man to be happy, and I didn't really need to be because that game made 10 million on its Kickstarter in like a week.
Yeah. Let me tell you about some other Dreamcast games. Did you know Resident Evil Code Veronica originally came out on the Dreamcast before the PS2 came out?
All right.
Resident Evil Code Veronica is the sequel to Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, I can buy Code Veronica.
Yeah, I mean it's on PS2 also. I mean a bunch of these are on like other game consoles, but it's the collection. It's you getting 20 games like Power Stone 2. Give me Power Stone 2. It's better Super Smash Brothers. Come on. Yeah. I've never played that game actually. I just want to rile up Smash Brothers fans. I don't know. You could put Street Fighter Third Strike on there.
Do people like that one?
Street Fighter 3 Third Strike? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that's the problem.
Rez is on there. Rez is on there too.
Rez, okay. Rez is
Rez game. Yep.
Yeah, Rez is something. I think.
Yeah. Quake 3 Arena. You know, if you could put it. What if these Dreamcast Minis had online support that you connect to Wi-Fi and you just only play with other Dreamcast Mini players?
That would be a whole thing, and I highly doubt that would.
Yeah, you could play Phantasy Star Online with people on your dumb mini Sega Dreamcast. Jeff Gerstmann would be so happy. Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb would be so happy.
I don't
think he'd be.
I don't know. With these minis, I find it so hard to muster any sort of excitement. And that's just because everything that a lot of things I can currently play that I want to play, I can play whenever.
Yeah, see, I'd want that N64 mini or that PS2 mini.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like I would really like a PS2 mini that came with like the original like Shadow of the Colossus,
Oh
because
yeah,
I'd really like to see that look, you
that game
know?
does not run well. I'd hope they'd do a little work to it. That game had dropped some frames, but I played it originally on the PS2. It's all right.
Yeah. Like I like the look of the original like Shadow of the Colossus in a real way, as it like compared to the remake that Blue Point Studios did. Like that sort of thing. Also Ico is another thing I'd like to be able to play.
Yeah.
Um but like that's from like that library. I can't think of anything off of the Dreamcast. Like I either can't actively play like through some other service or like really actually want.
Okay. Hey, I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna keep it recording. Tell them
Yep.
about what you put on N64 Classic real fast.
Oh, hot diggity dog. N64 Classic. Oh boy. Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium 2. Uh try to keep this from just weird Pokemon. Super Smash Brothers, probably. There's a game with Green Army Men, I think called Sarge's Heroes. I think that was cool. Star Fox 64. I would like to get the ending where you get to see Ghost Fox McCloud's dad with his sunglasses. Um I think GoldenEye or The World Is Not Enough, one of those two James Bond games. I never played GoldenEye. I only ever played The World Is Not Enough. I never finished it. Perfect Dark is also pretty dope. Actually, if you can only have one of those, I would say go with Perfect Dark instead of the James Bond games.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, but like Perfect Dark's better in every way.
Did Perfect Dark come out after or before GoldenEye?
Perfect Dark was after.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with that then.
Yeah, Perfect Dark. Like Perfect Dark is cool as hell. You have a laptop that turns into a gun, a sniper that shoots through walls.
Hey, Austin,
Yeah.
why not both?
Why not both? That's the thing. Depends on how many games you're trying to fit on.
That's true. That's true. Man,
Majora's Mask. That's it. That's all. That's what I
just
want.
Majora's Mask.
Just a Majora's Mask machine. That's all I want.
Yeah, I'm sure Nintendo would sell that to you. It's called the Nintendo 3DS.
Like, no, no, I don't want that look. I don't want the 3DS with its like updated visuals and like the weird alterations they made to that moon.
Mhm.
I want the N64 scary moon that still haunts me if I think about it for too long. If I think about that moon for too long,
Uh-huh.
I get scared.
Oh my god.
And I don't know why.
It's a spooky moon.
Yeah, it's a spooky moon, but like
How
it's
old
not.
were you when you saw the spooky moon?
Oh, I was a baby. I was like 6 or 7.
Mm.
And the only reason we had Majora's Mask, by the way, is because my babysitter Samantha, um, she brought over her expansion pack for the N64 because like she had an N64, and we were kind of wild children. So she brought over her expansion pack for her N64, Majora's Mask, and because she knew we liked Zelda.
Yeah.
She'd helped my sister beat Ocarina of Time, and so she brought over her copy of Majora's Mask, and we played a lot of it. And she forgot it at our house, and
Nice.
we never told her we had it. Um, So we still have I still have an N64 Majora's Mask on it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't hook up to my TV well. Also, it's
Now,
in Dallas with my brother.
uh, well, now
Yeah.
you're telling the world about your hijacked copy of Majora's Mask from when you were a child. The world will know now, Austin.
Yeah, now the FBI is going to come to my door.
Yep.
Say, sir, you've admitted to a crime that
Yeah.
we've been tracking for about almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, Majora's Mask
Yeah.
is really the one thing. Because like a few weeks ago, I entered a funk where I was just like really thinking about Majora's Mask and wanting to play that again. That's like the one thing I'd want on those. I don't. My N64 is in Dallas.
Hmm. If you have a GameCube or a Wii, I've got that Zelda disc that has it on there.
I don't have either of those anymore.
Too bad. Too
The
bad.
Wii is also in Dallas actually because my brother, like lockdown happened and my brother like came over here. Like he and his wife had to leave their honeymoon early to get back here, and so he came here to San Antonio for some business or another. And he just asked me like, "Hey, like, can we just like take the Wii and the N64 because like they don't have games. They
Yeah.
have a PS4 that I gave them when I got my Pro.
Aw,
But like the only game they have for it is like FIFA.
FIFA.
And
Loot
so
boxes.
yeah, and so he took it's like an older FIFA. I don't know if it has all that stuff in it, but he
Maybe
took
less loot
the
boxes.
N64 and the Wii, made sure that he had everything he needed to hook the N64 to an HD TV. I think I also gave him like I don't know why, but I think I gave him a copy of Dark Souls 2 because I can't find that thing anywhere.
Hmm.
So I think he probably had a real pleasant experience playing like Mario and stuff again. Like maybe he tried Dark Souls 2. I haven't asked him if he has.
That's cool.
Um, see how bad a time he's having with that.
Yeah. Well, my next news is Ghost of Tsushima's co-op mode arrives on October 16th. I own that game. Didn't play a lot of it, but I really want to play co-op mode with my friends who got Ghost of Tsushima. It's got 4 classes. The DLC is free. It's got some 4-player survival missions and a little MMO style raid. You know, something that like Avengers is not doing, which Sucker Punch is just putting out for their single player only game, which I'm pretty into. It's got New Game
Yeah,
Plus also.
yeah, I know the co-op seems interesting. I would want to see like how that's being like how expansive the co-op is, because that's the only thing that interests me in this update.
Yeah.
Um, like there looks like there's some stuff like menus, like they're gonna like give you armor loadouts now, so you can like just switch between look
Oh, cool.
and like how you're building your character or how you're building a Jin, the main character. Um, yeah, I don't know, like the co-op, like scene from the trailer they unveiled that and it seems interesting enough.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. I'm also would like to play that game on a PS5, so we'll see what happens when the time comes for the PS5 to be purchased. But until then, I pulled this article from last week about everyone's favorite Genshin Impact, Austin. I know you love when I
Oh,
talk about this game.
yeah, no, I'm so like into this. I'm, really having to reconcile with the impact of Genshin Impact.
Of course. Did you
Uh,
download it yet?
God, that's lame. No,
All right.
absolutely not.
Damn. It's okay.
I can't let you win this one.
Yep. Can't let me have this one. Hey man, it's 17 million people have downloaded it in the first 4 days on just mobile. These are just mobile numbers.
Yeah, I mean, cool.
And it's made about $70 million, which I let me see. How much has GTA 5 money made?
I do love of this like Kotaku Australia
$6
article
billion. Okay, they're getting
that
there.
you like sent me about this, which like I'm surprised Kotaku Australia is still a
Oh,
thing that's up and available since like they recently purged like Kotaku UK.
yeah.
Um,
Way to go, Leia Williams. You got this. Leia,
yeah,
Leia. I'm sorry.
yeah, like Leah Williams. I hope you have a
Yeah,
job for foreseeable future. Um,
you got this.
sure do hope Geo Media doesn't consider Kotaku Australia redundant at any point. Um, Jim Spanfeller is a herb. But like I love that at the bottom of this article, there's just a instructions on how to download this on the various platforms,
Okay. Oh yeah, that's interesting.
which I think is really funny that like people might be that confused about this game.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I
Like it makes sense for the PC thing, right? Because you have
Yeah.
to go to like the website.
Oh, it's not even on Steam. Okay, yeah. Interesting. I didn't play it all last week. I kind of think about it in the back of my head sometimes. I mean, like, if I want to do some Breath of the Wild exploring, maybe I'll do this, or maybe I'll just play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, like I played some Breath of the Wild last night. It's still fun. Like I played that last night while I was listening to a D&D actual play.
Confirmed Austin being Breath of the Wild mark.
I mean, I haven't bought like the DLC. I just went around and did like a shrine that was just a trial to get there, so I got a thing for free.
Yeah. Hey, I got a couple of quick hits for the
Are
Amazon
you gonna
Prime deals.
Are you gonna play this on Switch before we move on too far
Oh,
from
on
Genshin Impact?
Impact?
Yeah,
Depends if it has cross save. I'm playing it on PS4. I might try it on Switch to see if it runs okay. Maybe you'll try it on Switch since it's free.
I doubt it. Can you hear my dog
No, I can't hear him.
in the background? She's sleeping and she's dreaming and she's just making little noises.
Aw.
I was very alarmed
Well, let me
because
tell
like
you. Sorry, what?
it sounded like she couldn't breathe.
Aw.
But yeah, like what's up?
Aw.
What's up with Prime Day? Yeah,
Yeah,
the cuteness of Amazon
yeah.
Prime Day.
Amazon Prime. Ooh, woo, so cute. 15% off RPP of some PS4 games, which is like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Shenmue 3 Day 1 Edition, Austin. You could get this for around $27, maybe less.
I have the Kickstarter edition of it that came with an exclusive sleeve.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is about like, I don't know, probably $35. There's Ash of Gods. I don't even know what that is.
Ash of Oh, this is on PS4 now. Ash
Ash
of
of
Gods
Gods
is a
Redemption.
kickstarted game. Like if you're familiar with the Banner Saga,
Yes.
it's like that, except this is like more, I think, centered in like I think I want to say like Russian mythology in some way.
Okay.
Um, it's also like they straight up like had to say on the Kickstarter like this is not just a clone of uh Banner Saga. We are inspired by it, but we're trying to do something a bit different. There's some key mechanical differences in it, but it's not that important. It's neither here nor there. So
Okay.
that's what that game is. It's pretty
Yeah,
all right.
that's cool. I'm into it. Um, another news hit I got. I'll go through a little quickly as the PS5 default selection button to be X instead of O for the first time in Japan, as I'm reading in this IGN article by Jordan Olamon. But yeah, I don't know. Circle's always been confirmed. Even in like Japanese game shows, you'll see a circle as the yes and the X as the no. I remember a bunch of Final Fantasy and Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah, I've never seen a like PlayStation DualShock like that was manufactured like for like in Japan, I think, or like for Japan specifically. So like, did they like switch the places for the X and the O, or are they just saying like that's what we're going to use now instead?
So the controllers were the same controllers,
Okay, so it's like the
but when you
same
press your
layout.
hands on like a controller, your thumbs naturally are on the circle button. So they would
Okay,
use circle as like your normal game would use the X button. Like an RPG, you'd press circle to select your attacks instead of
okay,
X. So some games, like if you import a Japanese game, X will take you back instead of going forward. So it's just a thing that they're just making the standard X now. I just thought it was neat little news article
then
that
there's like the quote associated with um on this article, like the in Japan the circle symbol is associated with good, okay, correct.
yes.
Uh, which is interesting. I never, never been required to think about it, and so like I hadn't ever thought about it. But this is going to be that's interesting. That's a choice. I don't know what prompted that choice. Uh,
Check out these
it,
amiibos though.
it's very interesting. Oh yes, moving on to the amiibos.
Yeah, I put it in the Discord if you want the picture, but there are three. Banjo Kazooie's getting an amiibo, Byleth from Final Fantasy is getting an amiibo, and Terry from was it King of Fighters is getting an amiibo.
Yeah, yeah.
Terry Bogard.
These all look like amiibos. Um, I hate Terry's.
Oh, I want Terry so bad.
I
Why do you hate?
really, I
What's up?
really don't. And my pet peeve with amiibos has always been the stands.
Yeah.
Like the stands that like are like supporting legs, because these figures are not made in such a way that like they can support themselves without having that extra like these like white stands to support them. And that's
because his legs are wider than the
yeah,
stand
because his legs are
itself.
wider than the smash symbol, you know?
Huh. Why didn't they just make the smash symbol bigger? Or make his
Because it's
stance smaller? What the
that's that's always been my thing, is like make the stance a little smaller, make the like you can't make the symbol bigger necessarily, because like amiibo have to like read into the machine.
Yeah.
Like the only amiibo I've ever really been okay with is like Little Mac, and
Yeah.
I need to see if Shovel Knight's amiibo is
I got a
compromised.
Game & Watch amiibo where it has 3 different poses and you can pull
Okay, see
it out and put a different one in there.
Shovel Knight's amiibo is okay.
Yeah, you can put that in your mouth and talk with it.
No, we don't. No, we don't need to. No, we don't. We don't reference Griffin's amiibo quarter in this house.
Okay.
You
Those are funny.
monster.
Those are only audio. You don't actually get to see him putting it in. But
Yeah, you do.
I think oh, you do? I don't
Yeah,
think
those
I've
are
seen the video
videos.
stuff of this. I've
They're
only seen the audio version.
horrifying.
I think I could put Banjo and Kazooie in my mouth at the same time. That's all I'm
You
saying.
don't. No, Travis, don't do this. Don't do this for content.
All right, but I like the Banjo Kazooie's walking on a little jigsaw. I'm into that.
Yeah, like that's. I think that's like an interesting way to like make the stand, like make the need for extra support not look terrible. Is like give him a themed support here. So like the little puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Is interesting. That Byleth is just standing there is
Staring
like
at
enough. Yeah.
me with his holding his sword back the other way.
Yeah.
But all
It's
right, let's do an amiibo count. What amiibos you got, Austin? Let's go.
I don't own any amiibo.
Oh my god.
I don't want any amiibo. I've never like
Yeah,
desired amiibo.
I have 10 of them.
Which ones?
I think I've got less. Okay, I've got a Mewtwo amiibo because I played that in Mewtwo and Melee on the GameCube a lot for the Super Smash Brothers. I've got Kirby. He's sitting on his little star and he's nice and happy. I got a Mr. Game & Watch that you can put different poses on. I got a Shovel Knight was my first amiibo because I thought he looked cool because he's just holding his shovel.
Yeah. Shovel Knight's a good amiibo.
Shovel Knight's a good amiibo. Fits in the mouth quite nice. I got KK Slider amiibo with his guitar just strumming. I was at. You ever seen those stores, $5 or less? $5 or less store.
Yeah,
dollar store type place. They were selling a
familiar.
bunch of amiibos at one point, so we stocked up on a bunch of them. I've got a Princess Peach one. I've got Dom Resetti, which is the Animal Crossing Resetti Mole's brother, who's not as angry as regular Resetti. Then I have the 2 alpacas from Animal Crossing that are married. Maybe a Yoshi one somewhere, I don't know. I also have a not amiibo, but it's the lady from Battlefield 5 just on a plus sign they were selling at GameStop for like $5. So I just bought that. She's on skis. She's like some Swedish protagonist. Yep. I don't think that one will fit in my mouth. She's got some pokey skis. Not going to work there.
All right. I own a Funko. I think those are the same.
Oh yeah, I got some Funkos.
Yeah. I have the singular Funko.
What kind of Funko is it?
It was a gift I received as part of a Secret Santa, I think about 2 years ago. It's a Titanfall 2 Funko.
Of course it is.
That a friend got me because like because apparently I gave off the impression I was really into Titanfall 2. I am. Because like the week I got Titanfall 2, I lost like internet connection for like a couple of days, so I just ended up platinuming that game.
Oh yes. Nice.
So I have a BT Funko that like you can put a little Jack Cooper in.
God, I want that fucking BT Funko Pop so badly. It's so cool. You just put a pilot in it. I'm into it. I want it so bad.
Yeah, it's a little Jack Cooper and BT. It's still in its box, which I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do with them, but
I took all mine out of the boxes because I don't.
I haven't messed with it. It looks like you can move BT around.
You
It
know, they
looks like
have. Oh, go on.
I don't know. I'm looking at it right now in its box.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little Jack Cooper. That's the other thing. Jack Cooper's got a little helmet on, so his face doesn't look stupid.
Yeah, and his mask is shiny like the pilot helmet.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about these other Titanfall 2 Funkos. They got Atlas and Pilot, which is a white mech.
Yeah, I know what they look like.
They got Bliskin Legion. Then they got the red one that's Mob 1316 and Sarah. I'd buy all 4 of those. I got a Dark Crystal Funko Pop of Agra, if you know who that is.
Of who?
So in the Dark Crystal, there's some spellcaster lady named
Oh,
Agra, and she's
yeah, I
old lady
definitely
with
don't
the
have that one.
horns. Skeksis.
Yeah, they don't even. They put a helmet on Sarah. Sarah doesn't even. I don't think wears a helmet in Titanfall 2. Of course, this could be like Titan. No, this is Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
I don't even remember her wearing a helmet in Titanfall.
Yeah, she probably didn't. I got
They
the
just gave her a face and a really bad haircut.
yeah. I got one of the characters from Jaws that I got really cheap just because I like Jaws, and I got Brigitte from Overwatch because
Let's see.
she's the waifu.
Atlas. Oh wow, yeah, this is like first gen Titanfall. Like they don't even have this type of Titan, I don't think, in Titanfall 2.
That's how some of that stuff works out sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I never had to play the first Titanfall, and
No, me neither.
some of like the messiness in its design, like in its Titan design, has always like intrigued me enough.
There's this quick clip coming out. It's just this Kotaku article about how in Star Wars Squadrons, if you ram your ship into like Imperial or into transports in the big fleet battles, you can do a lot of damage by just ramming your ship into other people's stuff to win.
Yeah,
Yeah, very Return of the Jedi.
that's a callback, I guess. It's not like that was a choice that pilot made in Return of the Jedi.
No, but
it did kill Admiral Pete though, so
yeah. Little Holdo maneuver from Last Jedi. Ethan Gack from Kotaku started out a couple hours ago talking about it. He put it out at 1 a.m. actually. Interesting.
Yeah, there's
someone on Reddit was just like,
the hustle doesn't sleep.
Yeah, someone on Reddit was complaining about it. He's just like, Jesus Christ, why do you ram every ship you fight? Wrote one player who's tired of space jousting.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd make that a feature, really.
Well, it just happens. I think when 2 ships collide, they'll deal damage to each other.
Yeah, it's
just dogfighting. When you have a respawn, when you can respawn, people will do that more often. When you can't respawn, I'm sure it won't come up.
Maybe.
That's a latch ditch move.
I don't know, yeah, maybe if it's you're the last one, you just gotta get that little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
You take that A-wing and you just charge in.
There's the reference. All right. Oh, I think that's the podcast for the week. We'll have another one on Thursday coming up with Sergio Medina. We still haven't gotten an email yet, but maybe at the end of the show, if someone's still sticking around, you can email me at thirdcoastgamingradio@gmail.com. If you have any questions or want to talk about what kind of amiibos you can put in your mouth, I'll talk about it. Austin might leave, but I'll be here.
No, I mean, I could still probably be. Ooh, can I buy? Oh no!
What's up? Are you looking?
I just realized I can. Yeah, I went to Origin and was like, "Can I buy the first Titanfall game?" And it's $20.
Oh, it's $20,
which is more than I'm willing to pay for Titanfall 1 right now.
You can probably get it $5 at GameStop, but you need an Xbox to play that.
I could probably find like a PC code somewhere for like significantly cheaper.
I'm sure you could. Austin, where can people find you at on Twitter?
People can find me in the Mech Room on Twitter at Beardless2.
Yeah,
talking about Baldur's Gate and apparently Titanfall.
Oh yeah. Oh, and tweets about The Last Jedi that have way too many comments.
God damn! No, don't ever talk. Don't ever talk about that Star Wars tweet.
Oh, it's such a bad Star Wars tweet. It's something about Kylo Ren's helmet. I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was a terrible joke, and then like too many people liked it, and like it got up to the point where it was like 800 likes. People were talking about it all the time. Like people were in my mentions. It was such a that was like the closest I've ever gone to going viral, and I never want. That was the worst 3 days of my Twitter experience.
Yeah, I remember when it happened. We were just in the newsroom, and it just started popping off, and you're like, "What the hell is happening?"
Yeah, I made a dumb joke. It was like something about like JJ not being petty enough to like retcon aspects of The Last Jedi in The Rise of Skywalker, and it's like JJ Abrams ... and there's like the picture of Kylo Ren's helmet being rebuilt. It's such a bad joke. I got half the people were there being like, haha, I hope he does. Last Jedi sucked. Most of those people left after I like responded with like, actually, Last Jedi is really great. And the other people were like, I don't think you know what retcon means. And I was like, I don't think you know the lack of effort I put into this joke.
I don't think you know how little I care. I'm neutral on The Last Jedi because it's a movie, and I moved on with my life.
That's the other.
Okay.
I wasn't there to like. I mean, I was definitely there to like ruffle some feathers at the time because I thought it'd be funny, but like now I just don't talk about Star Wars on Twitter anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, if Austin does tweet about Star Wars one time, I'll make sure to let you know. You can find me on Twitter at Travis23Doyle.
You can burn in hell.
I love you too, Austin. All right, I'll catch you.
Yeah.
I'll catch you on Thursday.
Yeah. Talk to you Thursday. We could even more Baldur's Gate nonsense.
Should be fun. All right, catch y'all later. Have a good week.